Welcome to Beyond the Bell, the official podcast of the Beaumont Independent School District. I'm Jackie Simeon, Beaumont ISD Director of Community and Media Relations, and your host. And I'm thrilled to have you join us for our very first episode. Whether you're a parent, student, staff member, or community partner, this podcast is designed to keep you informed, engaged, and empowered as we move through the school year together. Each episode will take you beyond the bell, diving into the topics, changes, and initiatives shaping education here in Beaumont ISD. From district-wide updates to innovative programs, this is your all-access pass to what's happening across our campuses. Today's episode is packed with important information you need to know before the first day of school. But our first guest is Beaumont ISD Director of Transportation, 𝐂𝐨 𝐲𝐬. And Mr. Metz is here to share some exciting updates about the new online transportation registration system. He's here to talk about MyRide K-12, a convenient tool for families to find their child's assigned campus and streamline bus registration. And he'll also explain the new two-tier transportation system rolling out this school year. Thank you, Mr. Metz, so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. Let's first start by letting you tell everybody what your role with the district is and the role of your team.
So I am the transportation director. So we're responsible for transporting over 4,000 students, twice a day. Responsible for over 135 field trips every week. That begins sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning, buses rolling out, drivers coming in. We have a team of routers. We have a team of field trip coordinator. It takes a whole team. We start before registration starts and building efficient routes, assigning students to buses. Then the work begins when school starts.
It's like a big puzzle, right?
Absolutely. It's like putting a puzzle together twice a day.
And people don't really think about, most people think about, okay, my child is picked up at the start of school, dropped home at the end of school, but they don't think about the in-between activities like those field trips you just mentioned.
They don't. We have, over 80 routes, okay? So, in the morning we get your students to school on time. Well, then we have a football trip we go to. So that may take 5-6 drivers out of the mix for the afternoon. So, we take that puzzle and put it back together in the afternoon.
So a lot goes into what you do and
Absolutely.
Your team.
Yes.
All right. So BISD is introducing a new online transportation registration system. Explain to us how it works.
So, once the student registers for school, we port that information over, and then we assign them to routes. Once we assign them to route, the MyRide K-12, the parent can log on and see the actual same information that we have in the dispatch office, where your bus stop's at, what time you're supposed to be at the bus stop. The parents could even get the information when their student boards the bus, when they disembark at the school, and vice versa. When they load the bus at the school and when they get home, they'll get notifications when the student is being transported.
And there's a lot of concern from parents about keeping track of their students during the school day. So this is one tool that helps with that.
Yeah, we do a really good job of picking students up and getting them back to where they go. This is just another tool. One, we want to make sure we're transporting our students. We don't want anybody on our bus that's not a BISD student. So this is just one layer of security that we provide to the stakeholders.
All right, and how do parents access MyRide K-12?
Well, they can go to the BISD webpage. It's on the webpage. They can download it, either the Google Store or the App Store. Look for the Tyler MyRide K-12 app. Download it. You'll need your student's ID number. You'll need your student's birth date to link your student to your account.
And speaking of students, and they'll be using one badge this year.
Yes. Now, we've went to a one-badge system. In previous years, we've had two badges, one to ride the bus, and then another one to do all the school function. The district has moved to a one-badge system, so they'll use their badge when they scan on and off the bus. They'll use their badge when they go to lunch to receive their lunch, if they go to the library. So it's a multifunction badge, and all students, kindergarten through high school will have their badges.
And that's what I was going to mention. This is going to be an exercise in responsibility for the young ones, the younger ones.
Past experience, the students like to see their little picture pop up on the tablet in the bus. So, they're excited to keep it and usually do just as good a job as the older students.
Very good. All right. So this year we're also rolling out a 2-tier transportation system, and this is opposed to the 3-tier system we've used in the past. So explain to us what this means and why this change came about.
So we started work on this back right after the holidays, and we put some models together and made a decision to go to the 2-tier system. One, it's going to pick the students up a little later in the morning. We're not picking them up quite so early. We started at 4:30, 5 o'clock last year. So we're going to start closer to 6 o'clock in the morning. So your students getting a little more rest.
And that's a complaint we've heard from parents in the past. My child has to be up so early. They have to be at the bus stop so early. So now they get to sleep in a little later.
Get to school on time. We're also, combining the high school, the middle school route. So the middle school kids will get accustomed to having to get up early. Earlier, in years previous, they wouldn't have to be at school till, 8:15, 8:30. So now they're, priming them for go to the second level or the high school level. Then the elementary school, they'll ride the bus by themselves. We'll pick them up after 7:30. Get them to school on time, and everybody be home sooner than what they were in years past.
One thing we've seen from social media comments is parents questioning having high school students and middle school students together. But I'm just thinking back to my own days in school, which, it was last century, last millennium, but not that long ago. And when we were in school, everybody was on the bus together.
Absolutely.
So what do you make of these concerns?
They may have a valid point. We're all concerned about our own child. Absolutely. We've got some things in place. We're going to try to segregate the students on the bus with the high school kids in the back of the bus, set the middle school kids up front, separate the sexes on each side of the bus. So we're going to do our due diligence to try to keep any issues down.
Very good. And then what should parents know about scheduling if they have children at different campuses at different grade levels? For example, if I have one child in elementary school and another child in high school.
So what we've done is we went in and tried to create some efficient routes. We've eliminated some stops. In the process, we have tried to duplicate our routes. So years past, we would run a route, and we'd do the elementary route. Well, they would be different routes, even though they were in the same neighborhood. So what we've done is we've duplicated. The routes are mirrored of each other. All right. So for the most part, your high school, middle school student, your elementary is all going to go to the same stop. They'll have to be there at different times, but those should be at the same stop. We have a few exceptions, but for the most part, middle school, elementary, high school will all be at the same stop.
Very good. Now, we've been doing a lot to communicate all these changes to families ahead of time.
Yes.
So tell us some of the ways we've been getting the word out. This right here is one way.
We've done multiple TV interviews.
Yes.
We're doing a podcast. We're going to all the registration events that all the community partners in the schools hosting. We'll be passing out flyers with the QR code. They can download the app. We're receiving a lot of calls in the transportation department. Best thing to do is go to the website, download the app, just keep checking. We're assigning students every day. If your student doesn't have a bus assignment, just be patient, keep checking. It'll be there shortly.
Very good. All right, you've already touched a little bit on this, but tell us again the measures that are in place to ensure the safety and punctuality of the buses under this new system.
With the routes being condensed and us picking up the high school, middle school, we're going to separate the grade levels on the bus. All right, we're going to try to separate them, keep different genders on opposite sides of the bus. Going to the 2-tier system, it's cut down on our route times. We've added a few additional routes, but the ride time on the bus is going to be shorter. The ride home is going to be shorter, and they should have a better educational experience throughout the day. And
in the past, we've had students get home as late as 5, maybe even 6.
Absolutely.
So this is going to help eliminate that.
Yes, all the routes we should be back at transportation no later than 5:15 on 99% of our routes.
So that's great for everybody.
Everybody. It's a win-win for everybody.
Very good. So overall, tell us how you're feeling about the start of the 2025-26 school year.
I'm excited. I've been doing this quite a few years, and this is probably the best feeling I've had to start. So I'm excited. My team is exceptional. They've worked hard. We've asked a lot of them, and they've delivered. We're ready for the start of school.
Very good. Is there anything else you want to share with our families?
Look, if you're looking for a part-time job, we're always looking for bus drivers. We have an in-house training staff. We'll train you to get your CDL. And look, it's great benefits. It's you're off when your students are off. So, if you're looking to make a little extra change, we'd love to have you. And
we actually have some teachers who are bus drivers as well.
We do. We've been working on getting coaches trained to drive the bus. We've got teachers we're training. We've been training all summer long. We've been recruiting drivers all summer long, but we're still looking. If you're out there and you're looking for something, we'd love to have you.
But our parents should not be concerned about there not being enough drivers for the start of this school year, right?
Look, all of our staff.
We'll have it handled anyway.
Absolutely.
Let's put it that
way. we never know what's going to come from day to day, right? But all of our staff is fully trained to drive a bus, and I'm not opposed to getting out driving if I have to. So and I've done it. We've done it last year, so we're going to do whatever it takes to get them to school on time. Definition
of a team player you are, Mr. Metz.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and hey, you're our very first guest.
Well, I'm excited.
Excited to have you, and that's some great news that we're hearing there in transportation.
We're excited.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us, and remember, in Beaumont ISD, we are all in all year.